Hey everyone, it's Bradley Rosner of the Broward County Bar Buzz. I'm here with the great supporter of the Broward County Bar Association, Gary Rosner, who is a partner over at Mort, Hawk, and Hamroff, and his partner, Robert S. Cohen. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Brian. Nice to see you.
Yeah, it took us a while to get started here, but here we are, getting our thing moving. You guys have an expanded office here. I know you haven't had a huge presence, but you've expanded now with yourself and other attorneys. Maybe Bob can talk a little bit about your firm here in South Florida.
Thank you for having us, first of all. We're very excited to be down in Southeast Florida, expanding our presence here. We've been in Florida for many years, both with an office on the West Coast, Naples area, and we've been doing business down here with Gary and his partners and for many, many years. And we decided it was time to actually put some brick and mortar into the ground and establish a full office. And we just opened that in the Fort Lauderdale area, and we're very, very excited about it.
So talk a little bit about the types of services that your firm offers here in South Florida.
Well, we're a full-service firm with 90 attorneys throughout our 4 offices. We have 2 in New York. The main office is in Garden City, Long Island, and we have a full office in New York City with about 15 attorneys. We also have a small office in Naples, and now we have 5 attorneys in the Fort Lauderdale area. Our core areas would be commercial litigation, first and foremost, including creditors' rights. We have a very large secured lending practice nationwide, representing banks and lending institutions in many, many areas, both real estate, equipment, asset-based loans, C&I. We also have a corporate practice, buys, sells, and of course, trusts and estates. And did I miss any, Gary? You got most of them. And of course, ADR.
And the ADR.
Talk a little bit about this secure lending. I know we were talking off camera about it, and kind of educate us on how you can help.
So the firm has been in existence for close to 40 years, maybe actually 40 years. And we have been representing lenders, both banks and independent finance companies throughout the country for that entire time. We started off doing primarily enforcement of loans and things of that nature and following them into bankruptcy, as I mentioned earlier. But we've now focused, I don't know, probably for the last 20 plus years in doing the transactional side as well. So if you are doing loans of banks or lending institutions looking for someone to help you document and close those transactions, we take care of that. We follow those through any types of amendments that be necessary, as well as if there are difficulties, both on the borrower side or because of things happening in the economy, such as the pandemic, various other things like that. We're there to help steer our clients through and protect their rights and document the transactions necessary with the borrowers.
Didn't you talk about high net worth people, how you can help them with that also?
Yes. Well, so high net worth individuals sometimes are also making loans to friends and family members, and they seek out our assistance as well. And we do a lot of that. And then, of course, should there be a default under the loans, we have a very aggressive reputation for, we have a reputation for aggressively enforcing our clients' rights when and appropriately to get the job done, whatever that happens to be based upon our clients' marching orders.
Is that often behind the scenes, or is that something that you would have to litigate?
Oh, no. We litigate. We'll be out there. We'll be taking the arrows, and we'll be casting them as quickly, if not quicker.
Talk a little bit about your estate planning group.
Well, we have a rather large estate planning group in all of our offices, and we're very proud to be working with Greg Ritter down in Florida and his team, and doing whatever we need. Obviously, from the average person that needs a will to very sophisticated estate planning for very high net worth.
high net worth individuals again. And so do you ever have to get creative? Do you end up using mediation or arbitration when you're dealing with issues?
We do use mediation and arbitration. As you know, in Florida, it's pretty much embedded in our system now that, you go to mediation. Certain cases, you're ordered to arbitration. Contracts may have arbitration clauses in it. And that's what I've really stepped into that probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And I spend a great deal of time on that part of the practice. We have a pretty robust ADR group, and that's where I focus, I'd say, about 75% of my time. I still keep litigation files. I haven't given them up yet. It's sort of like a thing I'm not ready to just give up them. I always keep a few, but I mainly am an arbitrator and a mediator.
So Gary, your role with the firm, talk a little bit about what you do with your practice.
Just in general, Mort Hockenhamroff was not a name that was strange to me. My partner and I, Greg Ritter, I've been with Greg for probably going back at least to 2005, and we had been getting referrals from Bob and the people up in New York for cases in Florida, things that they wanted us to handle that they asked, hey, we need a Florida firm. Can you handle this? So it was obviously a natural fit to go in and become part of the opening of the Fort Lauderdale office. As Bob said, I went with my partner, Greg Ritter. And in the past, I would say 5 to 6 years, I've really focused on ADR. So the focus of my practice is mediation, arbitration. I'll be able to serve as a special magistrate when asked, a receiver when asked. So a lot of my practice now involves alternative dispute resolution. I do some litigation as needed. I step in where I'm needed. But the majority of what I'm doing now is the ADR, which was also a great fit with New York because they have a robust ADR group up there as well.
But if someone here locally is looking for estate planning or, for that matter, secured lending, your firm can handle it down here. It wouldn't be you, but there's other folks here that handle it.
If it was something such as what Bob was talking about, enforcement of secured loan documents, yes, I can step into that. I'll step into litigation. I always like to say I can break it, but I can't make it. I'm not a transactional lawyer in terms of I don't write up I don't write up the testamentary documents, but I do probate litigation. I really do all aspects of civil litigation. It's just that I've narrowed that down much more.
I guess what I'm trying to say is if there's someone interested that needs services, you're full service here, not just in New York, but in Florida here.
No, we are full service here. Yes.
We can make the deal and break the deal.
Yeah.
Gary's talking specifically about his practice.
Yes.
But the firm itself, we are both on the front end and the back end of all these transactions and can service any aspect of it that's necessary.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, you've got partners like Bob that if you get something, you can say, hey, I've got something, need your help on this. Can you take care of this? Or someone at our firm.
As Bob said, the great part about this is that because the firm is doing the front end and the enforcement, you see as a litigator, as you litigate, maybe you're litigating documents that someone else had drawn up, and you see where the problems may have been. But by doing the front end, what happens is our firm takes what we find in our practice and litigation, and says, how do we sew this up so that we don't have to deal with this? How do our clients not have to deal with this type of problem when it comes up? And that's why it's important that we're doing the front end. So it's not that we're just there, that we're going to just litigate it. We do that, obviously, zealously when we need to. But our goal with our documents we want those documents solid so that when we do have to litigate them, that we're not in a situation where you have a jury or judge tearing apart the contract saying, this provision's invalid, this provision's invalid, this is a little ambiguous. That's why it's very important, and I can't stress enough, is anticipate the problems, learn from problems you've encountered, and then what happens is the firm will incorporate that into the front end so that doesn't happen again. to someone who may have had a problem because the documents they were relying upon had loopholes in it.
In fact, that raises one of the things that I think makes us a little different than other firms that are out there. We don't believe in rigid disciplines. Litigators are not just litigators. Transactional people are not just transactional people. And the concept is you can learn from each other. So we really look to push our attorneys to use a different expression, cross-train a little bit, so that you become a better lawyer because you can issue spot and address certain issues that pure lawyers in one discipline and not the other cannot necessarily address the same way we can. It's one of our core principles, that in addition to, training and working with our clients. In fact, our tagline is strength and partnership. And that tagline came from working with a marketing company, and they surveyed our clients. And they said, why do you use Murdoch and Hammerhoff? What is it about them that makes them a great fit for you? And when they collected all the information, one of the key angles that came from this was that our clients said, I feel like they're in the deal with me. And hence, strength and partnership.
Lawyers that care?
Lawyers that care. That actually, if you speak to many lawyers in our firm, the cases keep them up at night, where our clients might be fast asleep. And quite frankly, that's probably the way it should be. They're hiring us to make sure we're doing the right job for them, and that's what we do. But that's an example of why we're in partnership with our clients, not in the legal way, but in the real way. We care what's going on for them, and we do our best, and that's how we've grown our firm. I was the 5th attorney hired in the firm, and now we're over 90.
Wow.
So it's been a long time, and it's based upon relationships. It's not based upon cases.
So you've been there a long time. Tell me, in a law firm that cares about its clients, give me an example. Tell me a story. Tell me about situations where you've had to do more, go above and beyond than what maybe other firms might not do.
It's a good question. Obviously there are examples that we can go through. But let me just suffice to say that we go that extra mile. Client says we have to do it this way, we have to do it that way. We're going to find a way to bridge the gap for them. We're going to find a way to, go back to my analogy, let them sleep at night while we're sitting here working to the wee hours of the morning to make sure we get the job done. A lot of that is also because of our professional integrity. It's our brand.
Yeah.
Okay, that goes out. The judges know Murdoch and Hammerhoff. They don't know my client. And they'll see us in all of our jurisdictions, day in and day out. And the one thing that we are crazy about is the quality of our work. It will not leave our shop until it is something that we're happy with, regardless of what that means.
It's your brand.
Exactly.
It's your brand.
And the strength in partnership, it's very relevant. Recently, we met with a client, and one of the first things one of the individuals said was, what I love about when I looked at your website and I did some research on the firm, he said, I know other people in here have dealt with the firm. I haven't dealt with the firm yet. Guess what phrase stuck out to him? Strength and partnership. And not strength and partnership meaning just amongst the attorneys in the firm, strength and partnership with the clients. And it's important. When I meet with a new client, when we meet with clients at the firm, I think one of the best things that they take away is a lot of times, listen, when clients come in with litigation, whether they're suing, whether they're being sued, generally, it's not pleasant for the average, especially an individual. Businesses, maybe more it's a cost of doing business in certain industries, but most people get a lawsuit in the mail or have to get into a lawsuit. It may be their first experience ever with the justice system. They're very nervous. And one of the things that I find always helps clients is when you say to them as they leave, shake their hand or and you say to them, well, sleep tonight. And they'll say, how can I sleep? Say, because your headache is now my headache. I'm going to bear this stress. No, and I say it, and clients look at me and they say, you know what? I'll sleep tonight because, you're right. Now this firm is going to have the stress and the headache because I say, look, I can't alleviate everything. People are going to be concerned. It's natural, right?
No one comes to an attorney because they're happy.
Yes, no, yeah, it's not often in the litigation world. But when they come and you say to them, when they know that you genuinely are telling them, this is now our problem, okay? This is our problem. And we're accessible, we're there. They get called back. We respond. We're responsive. They know they're going to get quality work. The clients love that because, like I said, it's nice to go home, especially when a client calls. You get a client that calls you and said, I was a nervous wreck. I feel 100 times better. I know it's going to be stress here and there, but frankly, I'm glad that you're now bearing this as more than I am because as the attorney, obviously the litigation part is now going to be riding on us.
I'm not charging you for this IP work here. Your problem is our problem. That's your new tagline.
Well, yeah, it actually, no, it really, yeah.
I'm going to charge you the $1,000.
It is, I've said that to.
Come on, Bob, that was good.
I like it.
Yeah. I like it.
And
your problems are our problems.
It was, coming to Mart Hawk was it was a natural synergy. As I said, I had dealt with me and Greg Greg goes way back many decades with the
I could tell he's
one of the founding partners of the firm, Mark Hamroff. So it was a natural fit. And when Greg and I went over, it also expanded because, as Bob said, we have over 90 lawyers. There's not a lot that you're going to call up. And if you send out an email to the group and say, hey, I've got a problem. Has anyone encountered this? Someone is going to email back and say, they're not only going to say, they're not only going to say to you, yes, I've encountered it. Look at this. It's going to be more of, yes, I've encountered it. Give me a ring. I just had that this morning. Lawyer sent out a question about something regarding a matter, and he said, anyone ever encountered this before? We spoke about it, about what's reasonable. Is it a reasonable request? Is it not a reasonable request? It's nice to have that backing, and it was an excellent fit. I couldn't be happier.
It's interesting because the message is being received, and we've grown so much. In fact, it's one of the reasons we're in Southeast Florida right now. The firm is looking to grow. The firm has been growing, and there's nothing stopping it. And as long as we continue to do what we say we're going to do, we see a very bright future for the firm, and we look forward to servicing as many clients as we can.
How do we get a hold of you all in the future if someone's looking for some fantastic attorneys that can handle anything?
So to get a hold of us in Florida, in the Fort Lauderdale office, you would call 954-340-2201. You can go to www.marthawk.com. There you'll also see the phone number to the Garden City office, the New York office, the Florida offices, and very easy to get a hold of us. The emails are there. There's in this day and age, everyone gets everyone, but not hard to get a hold of us at all, in addition to those ways I described.
Excellent. Gary, Bob, thank you for spending some time and educating us a little bit about your firm. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Always great to see you, Rayo.